Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Raise Capital Legally podcast and YouTube channel, your go-to source for insights on raising capital the right way. We dive into topics that matter most to real estate syndicators and fund managers with live Q&A opportunities before we wrap up. I'm Krisha Young, your co-host, business development director, and client success coach at Syndication Attorneys. And usually joining me would be attorney Kim Lisa Taylor, the founder of syndicationattorneys.com. Now, before we get started, please note that audio and video from this event will be posted on our podcast platform, YouTube channel, website, and social media, and will be made available to the public. You can go ahead and ask questions at the end of the broadcast by raising your hand or typing it in the Q&A. Information discussed during this event is of a general educational nature and should not be construed as legal advice. So today's topic is faith, hustle, and real estate, building a real estate empire with purpose. I love this. In this episode, Krisha Young of syndicationattorneys.com sit down with Matt Teifke from TR3 Capital, a dynamic real estate syndicator from Austin, Texas, who, alongside his childhood friends, is redefining how real estate investing and mentorship intersect. From growing up with a single mom to spearheading acquisitions in laundromats, RV parks, and single family and multifamily assets, Matt shares how faith, grit, and community form the backbone of TR3 Capital. Learn how Matt and his partners, Robert and Alex, blend friendship, formal real estate education, and Christian values to build trust, teach others, and grow a powerhouse acquisition firm. Hear how they're giving back with free workshops and group calls, building a reputation through service, and why their watch us work model is making waves in the investment community. Hi, Matt.
Hi. Good to be here.
Wow.
What a great intro.
What a
Yeah.
great intro. I agree. Like, wow, that was really amazing. I'm so excited to dive into this. So I'm business development in the law firm, but I'm also the capital raising success coach. And I'm very big on this particular topic of like faith and, building a business from kind of like the inside out. And it sounds like that's what you guys have done. So I'm really looking forward to learning more about you guys.
Well, I'm glad to be here. And when I said great intro, I mean you nailed it. But
Nice.
I'm glad to provide value, and I appreciate your time and everybody else who puts time into listening to these, and excited to have some fun today.
Yeah, same. All right, awesome. So, why don't you tell us about TR3 Capital and how you got into real estate investing?
Yeah, so TR3 is me, and Robert McLeod was my best friend growing up, and he was actually a Navy SEAL. And he was one of those guys that nobody thought would be able to be a Navy SEAL. I never doubted him, and there's a lot to that. But my best friend, and he got out of the Navy, and he said, "Hey, Matt, I want to be an asset. What do I do?" And I said, "Well, I think you should go to Texas A&M. You'll get your college paid for, and they have a Master's of Land and Development program there." Whereas I had gone to the Masters of Real Estate program. So he went and did that for a year and a half. And then Alex Kaufman, my other partner, was my brother's best friend. And my mom is basically both of their moms. Like we'd come home in high school and Robert's going through the fridge and whatever it may be. Like we're a family. And then back to how it started. It started with my mom. She was a single mom, and she raised my brother and myself. And my brother ended up becoming a reconnaissance Marine, and I took the real estate path. And now my brother's a preacher. Um, my mom was literally cleaning houses. And then by the time I was 17, she had 15 rental properties, single family homes. And what I've always liked about that was she shows that anything's possible. She showed me that, what it looks like and how to do that. And also that, you acquire these houses, and that doesn't mean that you're just independently wealthy and you retire. I mean, she still had mortgage payments and expenses. And so that's what got me started. And I got my real estate license in college. I was 18 years old, and my whole goal was to invest and own, and I really wanted to learn every aspect about real estate that I possibly could. I was at my real estate brokerage, the first one in, the last one out. I was taking notes every day. And then 16 years later, now we're syndicating deals, and I own a real estate brokerage in Austin, Texas, and we started a property management company that we sold. I had a construction company that we sold, and just a lot of lessons and learning and challenges. And as much as I feel like I've been doing this for a long time, this is the first time in the market that I've dealt with a downturn, in a sense, if you want to call it that. Excuse me. And just learning new things as we go. But we bought houses and mobile home parks and RV parks and laundromats. And now me and my partners, Alex and Robert, are buying multifamily. And we're buying these deals that people bought in 2020, 2021, and there's distressed debt, but the properties are going well. And they're out there right now. Both of Robert and Alex, we signed up a deal 2 days ago, and they're touring every single unit today. And I'm working on making new connections and finding people that find value in these type of deals.
Wow, this is such a fun story. I love it because you basically have done business with your besties.
It's so true. I
That's
mean,
fun.
yeah, like we're on the phone. We talk. We were on the phone last night. My wife and kids are out of town, and so I've been working a little more than normal. And
Yeah,
we're just like, it's so funny. Like we'll be doing a webinar, pitching our deal, and like 30 seconds beforehand, like we're just like talking smack to each other.
yeah.
And then it's like, all right, let's get to it. We just have fun. It's a blessing.
It is. And because there's such familiarity there too, right? And so I would imagine that in your well, I'm curious, in terms of like a business perspective, like, well, how did this whole thing start with the three of you deciding to get into like serious business with one another? Because it's one thing for each of you to inspire one another to go into certain careers, but it's a whole other thing to actually create a real legit business out of it. And like, what does your operating agreement look like?
Yeah.
Like, how do you guys have that friendship and camaraderie and history and bestiness and manage to run very successful businesses here and do it in a way that everybody feels fair, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're brothers, like really, I mean, we would all die for each other. And I mean, we have physically fought each other. We might fight each other again. We get in little battles every single day. But we love each other. Like, I mean, we all know, like, they know my mom like almost as good as I know my mom, and vice versa, right? So like we're just family. Um, and so that just runs deep, right? And we have a lot of fun. There's no like measuring who's doing what value does someone bring. We're just committed, and we never questioned each other. We're very, very hard workers. Being a Navy SEAL, right, is like that's about as hardcore as it gets. And
Yeah,
me and Alex both have that same mentality. We didn't go the Navy path, but I was doing all of this before them. I started at 18. Alex has a crazy story too, which I can share a little bit if you want.
sure. Yeah,
Um,
if with his permission, I'm assuming.
yeah, he's cool. Well,
Yeah,
I'm always the funny thing is I'm always sharing their stories, and like they don't share. They're not like networking. They're good people, people. They can talk and have a good time and they have good friends and stuff. But like they don't like doing stuff like this. I mean, they're both touring the property. We're actually really different in a lot of ways. Uh, there's a lot to it, but like Alex was whenever he was my brother's best friend. Robert was my best friend. And at age 12, 13, 14, Alex started with marijuana, then it got into pills and just kept kind of growing from there.
mm,
But he was selling and he was like making money. Like he's like a gangster. I mean, I went to college in Corpus Christi and Alex came to Corpus Christi and like he would he would buy weed from somebody, right? And then he'd find out who did they buy it from so he could go there and buy it cheaper. And he was like actually making money. And like he had people like tie him up and put a gun in his mouth and like bust his teeth out and say like, this is our town type deal. Then he became a full-blown heroin addict at age 20. And then he found God and he's been sober for 8 years. And he's probably the sharpest person that I know. He wakes up at 4 a.m. every day and he works out and he's like super in shape and super committed. And so I had been in real estate for 8 years. And, Alex, when someone was doing heroin, like, I mean, even me as a friend, like, you can't even trust them, right? Like, they're just not even the same person. So, like, most people wrote Alex off. And I maybe did. I'm not sure. I just definitely didn't want to be around that, right? But then when he started getting back on track and like he was working at a firehouse subs, riding a bicycle, saving up his money. He was always like disciplined towards money and stuff and good at business. He just got down the wrong path. He said like, I mean, and this started when he was like 12, right? Like at age 20 and he got sober, he was like, dude, I feel like this is the first time I've ever like looked at the moon. Like I don't even think I've ever like noticed it. Like it was like a whole new life for him. And then I started seeing what he was doing, and then I was like, hey man, like you want to buy a house together? And we bought a house, and we bought another house, and then I had this real estate brokerage, and it was me and my wife running it. And I was like, hey, would you like to partner with me on this brokerage? And he said yes. And so he partnered with me on the brokerage. And then we started growing that for 3 or 4 years together. And then we started these funds. And then at that time, Robert was getting out of the Navy. And I was like, hey, man, go do this schooling program. He did. He came back. And now Alex and Robert are like, they didn't even really have a relationship like that well before me. I mean, they knew each other and were around each other. Now they're like best friends and they talk together more than I talk to them because they're always like on the operations. And so it's just like a lot to it, but just good guys and people that I trust with my life and vice versa. And there's differences, total differences in personalities, like I mean, Robert still like when we go to a hotel, I go into his hotel room and I open the door and a glass falls over because he put a glass behind the door because he still thinks people are out
Right.
to get him, you
Fair,
know?
fair.
And I leave and my front door might be unlocked.
Yeah.
I think my keys are in my car unlocked. Like,
Right? Yeah. Wow. Well, I mean, that just goes to show you perspective, right? Like we all have our own perspective and our own history and our own lens of how we see the world for sure. Um, well, thank you for sharing that story. And it's very vulnerable, it's very real, it's very raw. But what I'm getting out of that, if I may, is that you like again from this business perspective, um, you guys have your roles in your company, right? And so you've got the role of the money guy. You've got the role of the operations guy, like the straight like Navy guy who can like get stuff done. And then we've got the role of the face of the company, the person who's more like gregarious and doesn't mind doing interviews and doesn't mind chatting, right? And I think sometimes when people embark on these types of syndicates and funds and things like that, they're soloing it, right? And like most entrepreneurs, you're a solopreneur first before you have your team or whatnot. And you have to be all of those roles. This is something we talk about in our mastermind every week is like, you kind of got to be all these roles or partner with people who can like fill the gaps for you. Right. And so it sounds like you guys have done that. Like you just organically and naturally through your friendship, through this family bond that you have naturally created this company that works.
yeah. And one other thing to point out that I'm just thinking of is like when you're really good friends, and you know all this stuff, like, we love each other and all that. It's like it's very easy in a fun way, but serious. I'm like, we get off call or something, and I'm like, Robert, like, be better. And I'm like serious, but I can just tell him, like, hey, dude, you need to be better. And then like he'll hang up on me, or like whatever.
Don't
Uh,
tell me what to do.
yeah, but
Hey, are
he
we
knows
going for a
like,
beer later?
yeah, yeah, and he knows, but I'm saying that I'm half joking, but I am serious, and so we can actually really push each other and tell each other whatever we want, and
Mhm.
not. I don't know if you can do that with most normal partnerships.
Well,
Like
yeah,
I can say it like really meanly, but as a friend, like,
yeah,
dude, that's the worst thing, And I
yeah,
mean, I don't know. I just don't have to question those type of things.
yeah. And which makes which makes any relationship way easier when you can have that kind of openness,
Yeah.
with one another. Okay, well, let's go into the different kind of asset classes that you guys have. So we're going to switch gears a little bit here because this is about real estate and raising capital. So let's talk about that a little bit. Um, we just did a Beyond Multifamily 2-day conference with Vinky Lumba. I don't know if you were able to.
I was. Yeah, it was cool.
It was cool, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
enjoyed it a lot.
Well, what did you get out of that? Because I would love to know because you do that. Like, you have all these different asset classes, which is, I think, really smart. And I think that was where Kim was going with this event was just let's go beyond multifamily. Like, let's look outside the box and see what else is out there. So I'm curious, what did you get out of that event and how has that like influenced your existing strategy?
Well, I look at personally I'm more like looking at it, and there's definitely things to learn. I wasn't there like all day every day, but I was tuning in.
Mhm.
And I was just more looking at like what you guys were doing. Like, man, how cool is this? They set up this system, and it's all day, and they're building following. They're building credit with other capital raisers or operators, and so I like that part of it.
Yeah.
And I keep coming back to and one of the titles with faith, right? Like it's very important to me, and like I'm meeting people on LinkedIn and having Zoom calls and learning constantly, right? Because it's a challenge of like, hey, I have a deal and I believe it's one of the best deals there is. Like, I mean, like just bullet point on this specific deal, we're taking over assumable debt at 4.2% interest rate, and we're buying it at under a seven cap. Like, hard to beat that. And so I'm meeting people. I'm like, I got this deal. But then I have to step back and like they don't know me. They're probably not going to invest in this deal. I need to just build a relationship. And it's really like, in my opinion, a godly thing to do. Like none of this for me really even matters. But like if I can deeply connect and share a story here about something totally unrelated to real estate, great. But I am as focused and dialed in to real estate as anybody. And so it's just like people connections, getting your brand out there. There's little tips for sure. And then I'm learning like I've been hustling and grinding and doing all this stuff and not really in too many groups. And now I've gotten into groups, and then you're learning like these groups are really small world, and like there's a lot of collaboration that takes place in them, and I want to be a part of them, and I want to add value. And I just come from like a reckless abandonment of like give you all the value I possibly can. And Kim actually did that with me in a big way when she gave me a ton of connections, and it just becomes a beautiful thing other than money, and it just feels right and real. But I wish I could speak more on that event. I just wasn't. I probably listened to like 30 minutes, three or four different times, and so I did like the different asset classes. I think in general, I think too many people get focused on being inside of a box within real estate. And I believe that we all get into real estate to not have that. And so, like, just not thinking, hey, I can't introduce my investors to this person or this or that. Like, I'll invest in other people's deals just to show them that I support them, and not that I have unlimited money and I'm just throwing it around, but like just thinking through it in a different aspect is important to me.
Hmm. I love everything that you said there, and like going back to that being of service. Well, that's what I got out of that is like being of service, right? So I mean, I do believe that that is the future of business. And I've been around like many entrepreneurs, many 6, 7, 8, 9 figure earners, business owners, in the course of my career, and there is such a common through line and between all of them that are in joy with the business that they have, is that they do business through what you label faith. What other people can have different words for that, but it's like it's trusting the process and being of service. Like, how can I help you? How can I support you? And then trusting. So this is like an abundance mindset almost, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, instead of lack and scarcity, where it's like, well, I'm going to give something to you. What are you going to do for me? Which is like graspy and like fear based. It's like, what do you need? And that faith is that in that you're provided for in one way, shape, or form, right? And I believe that's the way it works. you know it's like, I'm going to do over here, like generously, with radical generosity, because I know it's going to come back to me from somewhere. I don't know where, but it's going to come back to me from somewhere. But then you also said that there's hard work. Like, you still have to work. It's not just like sitting here, like, you still have to work and put intention out there, have a focused goal, know what it is that you're working towards. Like, you guys have a tangible asset, like you actually have tangible things that you're working on. But there's that level, and then there's the upper level or whatever, the other level of like how it all connects out there, and
Yes.
how you attract in partners or investors, and how you become an investor or whatnot. And I do believe, I agree, faith is huge in all of that.
Yeah, I mean, straight up, and whether people believe in the Bible or not, like there's wisdom in it, right? And one of the things is, like, it literally tells you, like, those who plant few seeds will have a small harvest, and those who plant a lot of seeds will have a big harvest. And I believe in that concept, what you're saying, just like planting seeds, like
Mhm.
just introducing people, making connections, and then you find out that there's not a lot of people that do that. And so it's
Yeah.
actually easy to just stay in touch with the ones that do.
Yeah.
They got a lot of harvest that they can share, right?
Yeah.
So
True.
so yeah, I mean, it's just, it feels right. And it's it's different. I mean, I try to think about these principles and apply them, and this is a tough business. I mean,
Yeah.
people, like, they like to talk and they like to see people fail. I feel like in real estate, probably in other industries as well. We
Mhm.
also love a comeback story.
Yeah.
But like, everybody will claim to, have had a bad partnership, right? But did they ever claim to have been a bad partner? Like, you don't really hear that.
Right. Yeah. Where's the personal responsibility?
Where are these bad partners? Because everybody's had them. Where are they?
Right. Not me ever.
Right. So, like, but those are biblical things of, like, hey, we're all sinners. Like, we all fall short every single day.
Yeah.
And so who's sitting here casting the first stone, acting like they're perfect?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I love that. I love that. Um, so let's go back to your okay, first of all, I just want to say thank you for what you said about the event itself. That was like Vinky Lumba. So she has an event planning company, or she's starting an event planning company. And it was like, that was her brainchild. So the idea of bringing the multifamily or beyond multifamily was Kim's idea, from what we've seen our clients be successful in, right? In terms of syndicating and raising capital and stuff, there was a lot of success being generated in beyond multifamily and RV parks and things like that. And then so the two of them got together and formed this event. But the actual logistics and how the whole thing kind of worked out was all Vinky's. So if you ever want to chat with her about it,
Cool.
I'm sure she's such a wonderful resource. She's one of these people who just like, what do you want? What do you need? Let me help you. Um, so, but let's go back to your multi assets here. Like, tell us a little bit more about, like, why did you choose to go into different multiple asset classes, and how do your investors feel about that?
Yeah. Well, that also comes back to being an entrepreneur.
Mm.
I mean, I didn't want to get a job, right? So, like, to me, if I'm just doing one thing, that's just another
Yeah,
version of a job to me.
right, fair. Yeah.
So you know?
Yeah.
But
I,
it's been learning and scaling. And I mean, I started with houses. I bought probably 30 or 40 houses, and most of those I bought on my own or with like a partner here or there. And then I was like, man, these houses aren't that great. So then I bought a, 8 unit and a 20 unit, and then we bought a mobile home park, and it just kept scaling. But I was always looking for value, like motivated sellers, good locations, good long term, ideally properties I can give to my little boys, just like my mom was planning to do, or I think she is. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Which,
yeah, I
uh,
want to loop back to your mom in a minute.
yeah,
Keep
she's
going,
special.
keep going.
But then it led to about 125 slot RV park in Dallas, and that was with the fund. That was our first large. We did it was a $2 million raise, and then I bought 3 RV parks on my own, and then I bought 2 laundromats on my own, and then I just started realizing through all that, like, really bigger is better in real estate.
Mhm.
That's a lot of properties that I own, but
Yeah.
I'm not just sitting here making a ton of money every single month. Like, I still have to work and get to a better financial place. And then I got these deals now, and so we have 3 deals in San Antonio. One's 216 units, one's 452 units, and the new one's 396. And we've already raised all the money. We have all the plan in place for the first two, and we're hopefully closing on one of them this week or next week, and then the other one shortly after. And then the big one, the three or the it's a bigger raise for us. It's a $7 million raise, but we feel like there's a very small window right now to really buy some great deals. I wasn't able to be considered for these deals a year or two ago. Now the brokers are looking at us as the buyers. Austin and San Antonio have somewhat of a negative appeal, I feel like, from investors, or maybe from the headlines. But in the long run, like, these are great markets that are very hard to beat. I mean, San Antonio is the seventh largest city in the United States, and it's affordable and it's growing. And when things get back on track, like, these are going to be very desirable markets. And so just getting these deals now is big for us. But to me, it's really about, like, learning and understanding where you are in the cycle and what opportunities exist because of that. And so right now, to me, it's multifamily, right? And maybe in a year or two, it becomes development or this or that. But I'm not trying to just force things just to make money. But I'm looking for motivation typically, and then I'm looking for long-term uh, properties that I'm gonna be proud of. And so that's led to laundromats, RV parks, houses. I haven't bought an office building. I haven't bought a hotel, but I'm not trying to. But maybe that happens because of finding motivation, right? And that's what keeps me feeling like, hey, we're entrepreneurs. We're looking for things versus just that job mentality. Like, hey, we're just doing the same model, the same thing every time. And there's value to that for sure. But I just think real estate offers so much more than that.
Well, I think there's yeses in both of those because there's like niching is the riches are in the niches. And we do have some clients who have one asset class and they're known for that one asset class, right? And they have been able to develop a name for themselves, a reputation for themselves, and be known as an investor in that genre, if you will, or that niche, if you will. Um, but also, what you're talking about is diversification and being that entrepreneurial mind and being opportunistic and being flexible with whatever's there. So, but I think what you guys, why it works for you guys is because your niche is in your branding, right? So you're like how you guys run your business, your story, your origin story,
Yeah,
and you,
true.
right? Because like people, again, this is something that we talk about like every week is like with our clients is like, people are buying from people. People
Yep.
are, investors are buying from you, right? They're or not buying, but they're investing in you, right? And the real estate, but it's also your company. And so you have done a really great job of like creating this like brand of faith and hustle, and the three bros, we knock them out and then we like we're buddies, and like here's our cool awesome stories about how we got here, you know what I mean? So you've got like this lean in, and that builds a lot of trust from a brand perspective, right? It builds a lot of trust there. And then so you can say with confidence, well, we're real estate investors. We're commercial real estate investors. And next time we have a deal, we'll let you know, but we don't know what that deal is going to be. It could be multifamily, it could be an RV park, it could be a laundromat or whatever, right? And I think that the establishing the credibility in the brand space for your company is really what makes you be able to diversify in that way.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. And everything's evolving, right? Like, I mean, right now, like we're on this little wave of multifamily, and so like that could last for like 3 or 4 years. Um, and then I might be getting into politics and raising money for a political campaign.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's a whole other whole other thing. Just back to for a second. Did you say Austin and San Antonio?
yes.
Okay. I understand that Austin is like a real up and coming city. Like there's a lot of really awesome, I think that's what I'm hearing, is that there's a lot of really like entrepreneurs there.
Oh man, it's the best.
It's like it's
It's
like a
just
sleeper, but it's getting there.
yeah, it's a beautiful place. I mean, there's a vibe to Austin that I haven't experienced anywhere else in the world, and I think it's that entrepreneurial mindset. And
Mhm.
that's probably where a lot of where what I'm talking about, how I operate, comes from as well. But
Mm,
like you can just walk into a coffee shop and just feel it. Like
yeah.
everybody's trying to help and support, and that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Um, so it's a great place. I mean, it is a lot of entrepreneurs. It's a very liberal city in the center of a red state, and
Yeah.
there's live music, and there's hippies, and there's billionaires, and there's local food and tacos, and it's just cool. It's
Sounds
got the
like
vibe.
Vancouver. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's cool. Yeah. And like I do believe like Texas as a whole continues to be somewhere to kind of keep your eye on for real estate opportunities. So it's good to know. So everybody listening, hope you heard what Matt said. Texas, there's opportunities there for multifamily, it sounds like, you know.
yeah, and it's not going. I mean, Texas is going to keep growing.
It's a
I mean,
huge state.
so like these deals that we're buying in San Antonio, we're buying them for like $80,000 a door, and they're nice properties, right? And they're $1,100 rents, so they cash flow immediately. Where like people are doing deals in Florida and California and New York, and they're like 300,000 a door or 200,000 a door, and to me, just that's
Mm,
not the space I want to be playing in. I really never could even understand how those deals made sense, but
mm,
people figure it out. But I just like the affordable aspect, and then we also don't have these like really high insurance premiums. A
mm.
lot of reasons, and it's growing. Like the jobs come to Texas every single day, big jobs, big companies. And Texas is not, I've never bet against Texas or Austin, and for the long run, like it's a great place to be.
Mhm. Okay, awesome. I love that. Just out of curiosity, for the RV and the laundry, do you guys also operate it or do you just own the real estate?
We asset manage them.
Okay.
We have property managers that we use.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, I was curious about that. All right, let's move on here. Um, oh, you have a Thursday workshop. How would you like to share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I'd love to. That's really fun. It's probably the funnest part of my week. So for my whole life, I've always wanted to help and support everybody, and I take everybody's call, and really at the detriment of my family time in a lot of ways. And I just realized like I can't keep doing this. So I just started doing this Thursday class maybe 2 or 3 months ago. Um, and I'm like, hey, come to this class. It's on Thursday at 1 Central. It's totally free. And it's like a work session where we call brokers, we analyze deals, we pray, we talk. Like I'll go for like 4 hours sometimes
Oh, wow.
because I just like loving it. And I'm like working. It's like work session. And I mean, I really believe that this is something that is special. I think there's good things happening in it. I believe that people pay 50 grand or 100 grand for this type of thing that I'm giving for free. Um,
Yeah.
and it's literally just like, how do we help and support? It's my class, but it's not like the Matthew Teifke show. It's like, hey, what do you got going on, Krisha or Kim or
Mhm.
this guy or that guy, and what can we do to help? And I'm
Mhm.
like, hey, last one to lose, last one to leave this Zoom loses. I'm not leaving. There's a big game to it, but it's just fun and it's
Yeah.
it's pretty special.
I love that. Maybe I want to come one day.
Sure. I'd love for you to join. Everybody's welcome. And um, like I said, we go for a while. So like I've been telling people, if you want to just pop in and raise your hand and say something and leave, that's cool. If if you want to, you got some, if you're a lender or attorney and you want to like be known, like this is a space to be known. And it's pretty cool. I mean, people send me very special messages after.
Nice. So how can somebody join that?
I just need their email
Okay.
and or their phone number, and I just put it on a Excel spreadsheet, and then I just send out an email. Hey,
Hey. Okay. Well, let's put it in the chat. Where do they email you?
yeah, let me
Let
put
me do
my
that.
email. That'd be good actually if they email me.
Yeah. Do you want to tell me it? Oh, you
I
did.
put it. There we go.
See, I'm irrelevant.
No, not at all.
Nope, trust me, it's fine. I can't do two things at once, so thank you. Let's see. Paul says, we're very like-minded. Thank you for sharing. Vinky's WhatsApp is a great connection for different assets and helpful for people. It's true. I'm on that WhatsApp group. I don't
I'm
know.
on that too.
Are you? Okay, yeah, it's really awesome. And Paul, yes, we just put the contact in the chat. Actually, that just went to the host and panelists. So let me copy that and put that to everyone. There we go. So now thank you
Thank you.
for putting that in there. All right. So thank you for that Thursday workshop. That's really awesome. And I love that you spend so much time and that it's kind of like a co-working thing because I am finding that like I work on my own here in my home in my living room, and I talk to people all day long, so I'm not like lonely or anything like that. And I really prefer this to working in like a corporate environment for sure. I hated working in cubicles with people. Ah. So I like this better, and I can kind of like go to the fridge whenever I'm hungry and stuff. However, I do find that when I'm in like if Kim and our team, like we get on a Zoom together or whatever, we're technically supposed to be doing work together. We're technically supposed to be working through something like a sales page or something, but we end up just like blah, 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 talking about this, that, and the other. I feel like, okay, we're getting some work done here. Like we're actually doing something here. And it's that camaraderie and that team, that same mission in a way that allows you to be able to kind of be focused and feel like you've
Yeah,
accomplished something and that you're not all alone in this little entrepreneurial journey. um,
totally.
yeah. So go ahead.
Well, just that's like I'm like, hey guys, look, I'm offering my time and y'all are as well. But my only ask is that we make this fruitful. Like we're here to make money, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
let's do it. So
For sure.
like if you see me call 20 brokers, like I'll call like 50 brokers. And I'm really good at it, not to brag it, but like I'm able to have these conversations. There's a little art and I don't always know how to explain it, but I can just show it. And you can like, there's just these little things you navigate, and all of a sudden, 10 minutes in the call, they're telling you about like these epic deals that they weren't telling you about at the beginning of the call. And I don't even know these people. Like I'm calling whoever you tell me to call. And then people are like, wow. And I'm like, okay, just please, after this call, just do 5 of these on your own or do it right now in front of everybody whatever, but like just I don't necessarily need to make money on this. I mean, I'm building trust and a name there in a sense, but like I just want this to be fruitful
Mhm.
because there's a lot of people that join groups and look for things and they're not really getting what they're after.
Unfortunately, yes, that does.
And it's hard. It's not like I'm judging these groups. It's just like
Hmm.
even on my group, there's people that probably don't say anything but really want to. Uh,
Hmm.
so I have to like pull it out of them the best way I can.
Hmm.
But you have to like take action. I'm like showing everybody this is literally how I make money. Like I am just like calling people, I'm talking to people, I'm connecting people, I'm taking massive action. And because I've had people like they want to shadow me. I'm like, it's kind of a weird world to I don't know how to shadow you. Like I'm not building a house and you just watch me. Like I'm just
Hmm.
on calls. Like I'm walking around the city on my phone and but like
Hmm.
I'll show you and you're like I'll post and like, hey, I'm talking to a broker. Anybody want to dial in? Like call me and I'll just patch them into the call. Like
Hmm.
even outside of that group. Because it's just like, how can we just be a resource? How can we help? How can we, be someone that people can count on?
Hmm. Yeah, well, I this is brilliant because like it's you're a teacher. You're teaching people how to develop a skill set that they might not have. And I'm in sales and business development, but I literally like I quit corporate job in like 2015. I'd been working in corporate for C-suite executives my whole life. Um, I'd never sold anything ever. I was not an entrepreneur. Like I didn't know what I was doing, but I was just like I had this like thing inside of me. I was like I can't do this anymore. Like I have to do something else. I want to help people. I want to help people. That was like my thing. And I never sold a thing ever in my life. And like getting out there and doing that was so hard. Like I didn't like I was in all these groups and they were all like, just have this conversation and just talk to this person and just do this. And then once I started to do it, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like super shy. I'm introverted. I don't like talking to people. Like, get me
Yeah.
out of this networking event. And I remember I had one networking event where I couldn't even tell people what it was that I was doing. Like I I was so like
Yeah.
embarrassed and shy and they were
Yeah.
like, so tell us what you do. And I'm like, ah, I was a deer in the headlights. And I the whole drive home, I bawled my eyes out and I was like, I gotta like slap, like I gotta fix this in myself and not fix it. Not that there was anything wrong, but I need to learn how to be
Right.
more grounded in my conversations with people and
Yes.
learn how to make it not about me and make it about them. Right? What do you need? How can I serve you? And when I
Yeah.
started to shift all of that in my mindset, my sales tactics, for lack of a better word or whatever, completely shifted to the point where now it's like a career. And it's like tapping into that the natural part of yourself that does genuinely like people.
Yeah.
Everybody likes people, but like just tapping into that. And again, that loops back to what we were talking about before, about like being of service and like what can I do for you and what do you need, how can I serve you, how can I help you. And so
Planting seeds. Yeah.
yeah, so I believe that that's what you're teaching people on these calls is just like watch me just have a conversation. There's no
Yeah.
strategy here.
And but the thing is, there is like I don't even realize it because nobody really taught me, but there's a lot of things I do that I'm not even aware of, but then people are telling me what I'm doing.
What the strategy is, right?
And
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, cool. Thank you, because I am trying to teach this and I don't know how to do it other
right.
than say, give me a number and let me show you.
Yeah, fair.
But
Well, that's how you know that you're tapped into your um innate potential. Your
yeah,
innate potential, right? And so through that reflection, you can then create a system. And this is how a lot of systems are created that come from like the individual is like
right.
people reflecting back and saying, hey Matt, you did you know that you do this and you say that and you do this every single time. That's how then you can start to create your framework.
Yeah. Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
That is true. And it's just it's kind of like a pet peeve of mine a little bit because I am a broker and I have been a broker and I've been in the rooms with the brokers and they just minimize and treat people a certain way that they're not giving you the information or they're not taking you seriously. And like, because of my experience and because I know the lingo, it's impossible for them to do it to me. I could call like any broke, I call the biggest and best broker in New York City or wherever you want right now, and I could break through with them. And there's a little battle that happens. I don't know how to explain it, but they're like testing me out to see if I'm wasting their time. And I never let them one up me ever in a nice way. And then I end up getting what I need, right? And I don't necessarily have the ability to buy $1 billion deal, but I could get on the phone with them and convince them that I do. And I probably could. Like I could, who knows? Maybe you introduce me to somebody or someone else on this call introduces me to somebody. But I have the confidence that I'm going to try and that I believe in what I'm doing. And it just bothers me that they treat people a certain way that I don't have that. I probably have got that from them in the past and I've overcome it. But I want to show people how to overcome it, and I'll get on the call with them and do it. And then all of a sudden now they're working a deal that they weren't able to get access to. But it's like this like good old boy network that, I was probably part of in some way, but not really. Like I didn't dress like them and I don't judge them by any means. I wasn't playing the game that they were. And there's a reason they're brokers and not, owners as well. So
Mm.
sorry, I'm getting a little worked up about it, but it's because somebody wants to go do a deal and they're not going to help them do a deal, and that's not right. Like they're representing the seller to sell a property. When do they like get on there and like start like selling you the property? Like they never do. They're just trying to make money and get their fee.
Well, I mean, this is a passionate topic because it is the absolute antithesis of how you do business. And it's what we were
Sure,
talking about. It's more of that
sure.
lack and scarcity. And I'm going to keep this for myself. And it's like exclusivity in a way, which can be cool. But also it is exclusive in a way, like not in the bougie sense, but like in excluding, right? And there could be really amazing opportunities that are passed by, and especially for the client too. I've experienced that with realtors and stuff where I'm just like, yo, like I actually am genuinely interested, and you are blocking your seller's ability to have
Right.
somebody really amazing in your deal because you've got some sort of ego. Like, move
Totally.
aside.
And you're good at talking to people and you can navigate these, but like some
Hmm.
people aren't, right?
Yeah.
And so then they just shut them down and then they never call a broker again in their life, and this person just ruined it for them.
Yeah. So confidence, um, kind of being a little bit like, I think entrepreneurship too, you need to be like, uh, I'm trying to think of the right word here. So not to offend, but like you need to just have like be risky, risk taking, and like not care in a way what people think, and just like have this confidence in yourself. I believe is what's necessary to break through the barriers of these types of things. And I also believe that if we're going back to faith and we're going back to that more spiritual conversation, um that we are often given things, challenges in our path to overcome them. They're mirrors, they're reflections of where we might be stuck and stifled, or where we might have a belief system or a thought or something like that. And it's like, it's just that hero's journey, right? Like we're okay, well, so this broker is put in front of you for you to sharpen your tool. And your tool is to develop really strong relationships with people and to show other people how it's done. And that
Right.
you can get what you want, and you can navigate and negotiate around a seemingly impossible thing, to like a monster in the hero's journey, the evil or whatever. you know
Yeah, yeah.
you can get through that, you can get around that, you can make friends with that monster.
Yes. Yeah, totally. Totally. I'm with you 100%. Yeah. And then it comes back to like, hey, nobody, like I said, nobody taught me this. So you like on the flip side, like you have to just take action. Like you go into the conference and you getting worked up. And I've been there, and I was scared to make calls and
Mm.
talk to people, but you have to go through that to be better.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, if this business hasn't made you cry, then you're probably not doing it right. So there's some people that haven't hit that stage yet.
Yeah.
It's hard, and you just have to, but you do have to just keep going. I mean, what we're doing, like for me personally, like to find a deal, a $39 million deal is hard. To get accepted to get it is hard. To raise the money is hard. To get approved by the lender is hard. Then you own it and it's hard because there's maintenance issues. Like it doesn't end. So
Yeah.
like it's not like you're gonna just buy this deal and retire anyway. So just start battling and accepting it and like solving problems. And this is part of the deal, right? I think even if you have 10 of these or 20 of these, I mean, the guys that we're buying these from are struggling. Like, you have to enjoy what you do. And then that's why, for me, keeping the faith in mind is like, the faith is what matters, right? Anyways, none of this matters. Like, if I buy these apartments or not, or the house I live in or not, like, it's kind of irrelevant to me. It's just earthly things. But
Yeah.
then if you can keep in mind, like, what are you really doing? That's what keeps me rocking and rolling and going.
Well, pick your hard.
Yeah.
It's
Pick your,
all hard. So pick
right.
hard, right? And the bigger you go, the harder it will be. But then it's like, okay, open your capacity to receive because like a $30 million asset is going to net you some good returns, hopefully,
Right. Hopefully,
right?
yeah. The
Hopefully.
market turns and we go to war and COVID hits, like then there's another, who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, but let's say that that doesn't happen.
Yeah, sure.
And you know we do make money, right? And so like, okay, can you handle that? Like if you can't
Right.
handle the hard, you're not going to be able to handle the riches. So it's like
Totally.
got to be able to hold the both. You need to, it's opening the duality and being able to handle all of it, right? And
Totally.
I think a lot of people don't like that. They don't like the it's discomfort, right? And so that's why this isn't for everybody. It's not for everyone.
Totally.
It's not for everyone. And you said before about if it doesn't make you cry, like it is like becoming an entrepreneur in any way, shape, or form, no matter how you do it, is the fastest track to personal development, I think. Like
That's
it's
a good
just,
way to put it. Yeah. Well, here's another quick side story, totally uh out of the blue, but one of the biggest challenges that I've ever had, I've always invested in real estate and I've always been like super dialed in. I wasn't buying Ferraris and, nice car. Like I was just committed to this. But I believed in marijuana industry
mhm,
and I invested personally $4 million in one company and it went to zero and I lost everything. And that almost killed me. Like I
yeah,
was so rough and like I thought of that because like I don't think I could have handled that money at the time. That was money I had and made, but like I wasn't ready for it and it humbled me and I'm glad that it happened and I learned a lot. But that's part of the journey. Like that made me cry, in a lot
yeah,
of ways.
for
But
sure.
I mean, it literally went to zero, 4 million. Like that's hard to handle. And
Yeah,
I wasn't like I personally thought like Bitcoin might be gambling like I didn't feel like I was gambling. I mean, I studied the company. The
yeah,
Prime Minister of Canada was on the board of this company, the ex-Prime Minister, Brian Mulroney, and like Speaker of the House and Kevin or John Boehner. Like I'm like, this is the safe company. They've got a $4 billion investment from another company and it goes to zero.
that's insane. Was
Yeah.
it was it in Canada? Was it a Canadian
It
company?
was tied to Canopy Growth and it was called Acreage Holdings.
Mm,
Canopy's in Canada. They're the biggest player in Canada, or they
yeah.
were.
Wow.
And yeah, so
This before legalization?
yeah, I was investing in this for a long time.
Okay. Huh.
And I mean, it just basically went down for 5 years. Like I'd lose like 50K a day for 5 years.
Wow.
And then in November of last year, it hit zero.
That's, oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right, but like it's just part of the story, and like
Yeah.
there's just challenge. There's just challenge, and like no one ever tells you like it's so easy to lose money.
Yeah.
It's way easier to lose money than to make money in
Yeah.
investing.
Yeah. Why is that? Like, it's so
I
weird.
don't know. I don't know. I know
It's
it's like you think
weird.
like you get out of high school and college, you're like, yeah, investing is the smart thing to do. Like I should invest.
Yeah.
But then like you're never really taught like how to really do like good, true due diligence on
Yeah.
investing.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. Wow, what a conversation. Let's see. Does anybody have any questions for Matt? Daniel said Proverbs 22:2, rich and poor have this in common. The Lord is the maker of them all.
Yeah.
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 Yes. Yeah, I would agree with that. Like it's pick your path. Pick
Yeah.
your card, pick your path, I think, you know?
Mhm.
So for these real estate projects that you have, are you doing any offerings right now? Like, do you have a B or a C offering on the table? Um, if
Yeah,
so,
we do. We do. It's we just got it a couple days ago and my partners are there and it's a $7 million raise and
is it a B or a C?
it's the one that we're not allowed to share on
Okay, that's
social
a B.
media.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. What I'm talking about here for anybody not sure is that when you're doing a Regulation D offering, which allows you to raise private money from passive investors, there's two exemptions to follow: a 506B for Buddy and a 506C for Charlie. And B for Buddy does not allow you to advertise. You cannot talk about this deal, so we will not talk about it.
so weird to me, all
What's
these.
that? Yeah, Matthew will need to develop a relationship with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, good luck with that one, and let us know how we can support you as a firm. And I know we've already made a lot of connections for you, and having you on this podcast. This is great. This is a topic that is obviously near and dear to my heart. You know, I love talking about all of this stuff, and I hope that our audience got a lot out of it. Do you have any parting words before we close off this wonderful discussion? Is there anything I didn't ask that you wish you had said?
No, I feel pretty good about it.
Okay.
It'd be good to get to know you more over time as well, and just love to be a resource. Doors open with me. I'm a call away. Like I want to help. I got my class today at 1. Everybody's welcome, and God bless you guys.
Yeah, thank you. You as well. And thank you to those of you who are very loyal, to this podcast. If you want to know more about us, about syndication attorneys, you can go to syndicationattorneys.com. We have two best-selling books that you can grab 3 copies of through our website or on Amazon. We also have a private clients-only pre-syndication mastermind and group where you can learn how to raise capital legally and develop relationships with investors. If you want to know more about our services, about creating an offering, you can come into our website and schedule a call with me. And we've got an amazing team. So Daniel said he just emailed you about the Thursday workshop, and I'm going to do the same. I want to come.
Come on,
I can't come
everybody's
today.
welcome.
Yeah, I can't come today, but I would love to sit in there and just like absorb.
I love it. You're welcome to join. Everybody's welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, and yeah, we'll see you around. Thanks, Matt.
Awesome. Yep. Thank you guys. Tim posted, if we're still here,
Oh,
there's a class at 1, Tim, if you want to join. It's just a kind of a
oh,
work session, but
there we go. Thank you for catching that. Um, Tim, I put the email and phone number in a little higher up in the chat. I'm going to do it again now. You just need to email Matt and he'll get you in. Jesse.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for your time.
Yeah, great. Okay, thanks guys. Thanks, Matt. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.